everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for another round of Premier League predictions. We are up to game week or match day 9, depending on however you want to say it. But before we dive into this round of predictions, I just want to say thank you and give a shout out to all those people that left your predictions for match day or game week 8, however you want to say it. And if you want to have a shout out on next week's video, please leave your predictions down below. Everybody that does leave their predictions, we do give them a shout out. But we start with Shane O'Donnell. Thank you very much, Shane. You got 5 points, pretty decent return. That beat me, but it didn't beat Thomas because he came in with a respectable 5 points this week as well. Patrick Silk got 5 as well. Well done, Patrick. Manish Thapper, usually a champion, not such a good week for you this week, Manish, only 4 points. Robert Allen stormed in with that Arsenal 2-2 draw to get 6 points overall. Very well done, Robert. Usually when the results are a bit unusual, he does pretty well. Judy, last week was the one person that gave us a little bit of respect, but this week, Judy is 4 points, so it's relegated me to the bottom spot, I think, so far. So well done, Judy. FPL Yellow Army, very good performance, 7 points. That's the first time I think you've done predictions. A very rare correct score. Not many people got correct scores. This was like one of the only ones with the 1-0 win for Southampton. Snybor 99, first time predictor as well. 4 points for you. Well done, sir. But the champion, Thomas, the champion, who we have to give a very biased opinions 2-finger clap to, or maybe blow kisses to the man of. No, don't do that. Suhail Zubar, 9 points, including the Arsenal 2-2 draw at the end there. Superb performance. Well done. New champion. Well done, Suhail. And again, once again, if you want to have another shout out, leave your predictions below for this round of predictions. But that is all the grandstanding and hot dogging out of the way. Let's jump in to game week 9. And we have got a Herculean tie to talk about first, Thomas, because it is your beloved Manchester United versus Liverpool.
Yeah, do we have to play this game, and do we have to play it now? Does this need to happen after the week we've had?
Well, Liverpool did well, didn't they?
Oh, fucking hell. United are an absolute shit show of a team. I've gone and watched the highlights before this game, and there are so many errors that lead to this loss. Like, yes, Tielemans' finish is beautiful, but what the hell is Harry Kane doing? I mean, what centre-back starts dribbling like 18 yards out a goal?
Harry Kane?
Just
what? Do you mean Harry Maguire?
Yes,
there we
go. Harry, I mean, yes. I got no excuse. Anyway, what the hell is Harry Maguire doing? It was just absolute garbage. He's at fault for the Soyuncu goal as well. And this United side offered so little in this game. I'm confused why Greenwood is being played as a winger. He's clearly a striker. So they're pigeonholing him in at the cost of Jadon Sancho's and other players like that. I'm annoyed at Marcus Rashford's hair. I have no idea what he's done to it, but it's driving me up the wall watching it. Even one appearance like this has made me angry. But the thing that makes me angriest is that because Man United are making money, it sounds like they're just not going to sack Solskjaer. Like, they're convinced that there's something good happening here. And I can't see it. I can't see how this run of results, and it's we didn't look great at any point this season, and now we're losing games to Leicester 4-2.
Actually, probably the only game you did look good was that first game of the season against Leeds.
Yeah, this is bad.
Oh, okay, so a couple of things then, Tom. Let's just get your thoughts on it. What do Man United have to do to beat this Liverpool side? Oh my God, he's clutching at straws here.
We got nothing. We're not going to win this game. There's no way we win this game. And
I think Solskjaer's, he was hanging on to that unbeaten away record, which has gone up in smoke now, and now you're going into a very tough period of fixtures. But I ask you this, Thomas. Yes. Would you, if you could guarantee that a loss to Liverpool would get Solskjaer out, would you take it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Calls himself a loyal supporter.
it's just like every time you think it's finally gotten bad enough that he's going to get fired, he wins that game. But he's not going to win this. He's going to try and play a 0-0 draw. We know he's going to set up incredibly defensively. We know he's going to funnel everything through the middle and try and hold them there. We know he's like going to give them the first 40 yards of the pitch and only start to close down when they hit the halfway line. We know Ronaldo will start, obviously. We know there'll be some random person in the lineup. But he just doesn't have it in him to spring an actual surprise on Liverpool and win that game. I just don't think he does.
Fred playing number 10. That would be
the hell out of all of us.
I've done it. I've got the surprise. Right.
I know it's early in the season. I know it's 9 games, but you're looking at Liverpool, you're looking at City, you're looking at Chelsea. I mean, you're looking at Arsenal. They're all looking like title winners.
Especially that last one. And especially the way Liverpool just cut through Watford like a hot knife through butter time and time again. It really could have been 8 or 9-0. They was fantastic. I mean, Firmino coming up with a hat-trick of tap-ins. They're playing well when he's in the goals. And Salah just looking inspirational every single time he's on the pitch. But they look so much like the side they did 2 years ago. And all signs point to Liverpool in this one. And I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'm gonna say what needs to happen for the good of football.
0-0.
Oh my word! No! You can't show weakness.
No, you're right. Can't show weakness. Right. Well, in that case, 4-3 to Man United.
Okay.
Michael Owen with a 97th minute winner.
Yeah. Get him on there. Right. So, usually I would want Manchester United to win this game, but I am so sick of Solskjaer. I'm so sick of just this PE teacher masquerading as a Premier League manager. And I just think that we need Liverpool to perform some sort of mercy killing here. And the more goals Liverpool get, the more chance Man United will have of getting the boot in and sacking him. So this poor man, just put him out of his misery. Just let him go back. Let him go back to teaching high school economics in Norway or whatever it is he did before, because he wasn't a football manager. Manchester United 0, Liverpool 4.
Just out of interest.
I don't take joy. I don't take joy in that. It's just what needs to happen.
Is there a scoreline that United could lose by that would get Ole Gunnar Solskjaer sacked? I don't think there is. I actually think they could come like 10th this year and they'd be like, he gets one more year.
It's difficult, isn't it? Because you're entering into a period. Man United will just be reluctant to sack him at the moment because you're entering into a period where it's like Champions League, Champions League. If it was, they might have to wait till the next international break to pull the plug. But a kicking against Liverpool in the arguably the biggest club side fixture. My words aren't working. You know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. In the world is a good way to kind of to build a case against him.
It is. But
although that case is pretty damning already.
Let's move on now to the surprise package of the season, who are traveling to Brighton, Hove and Albion. That's right. Brighton, Hove and Albion versus Manchester City.
Well, Man City didn't get their 5-0 win against Burnley. They only won by 2-0. And do you know why? Don't have a striker.
Okay.
I know it's boring, but it is the same thing every week. But
to clarify, second highest scores in the league, tied for the best defense in the league.
Well, the defense has nothing to do with the striking situation, Thomas.
No, I'm just saying they're 1 and 2 in the two things that matter the most.
I'm interested to see how this one goes, though, because Brighton have been good, and we give them a lot of shit on this channel because we're not like massive fans of them. But despite a 0-0 draw against Norwich, they have started the season really well, and they're right up there. They're the 4th best side in the world at the moment, Thomas. So, can Graham Potter mastermind a victory in this game or a draw?
Well, if he does, I'm pretty sure Arsenal may finally get rid of Arteta and sign him, because it's clearly coming. But
I think Newcastle might sign him first.
Ooh. God, I would love that. I think City are going to win this game. They've been really good this year. The City failings, the same City failings every year. You just watch some games and go, how the hell can't you put the ball in the back of the net? But they seem to fashion 30 chances every game, no matter who they play, and it's really a question of whether they score or not. You and I have talked off air about this, but what the hell is Raheem Sterling trying to do? Where does he think he's going to go? Like, what team does he think he's going to force his weight? Does he want to go play for Dortmund?
Mulder.
Oh, okay. Him and Ollie are going together in that case. But City have been really good. Brighton have, they played better than they've ever played to start a season, but, Norwich have picked up 2 points. One of them was against Brighton. That should tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 0-0 draws in a row for Brighton now, so they're not going to be easy for City. And over the last season or so, they've kind of ground these games out a little bit. So I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I'm actually just going to go for 1. I'm going to go for 1-0 Man City. They are the new early 90s Arsenal side, Man City.
I'm going to go for 2-0, and without touching on, obviously, what the accusation is, I think Basuma being out is a serious detriment to this Brighton team. He's an incredibly hard worker. He bosses the midfield for them, and he's the sort of player that can really disrupt City with his endless levels of energy. So I think if they're missing him, which I imagine they will be, then I think City should possibly get more than 1 in this game.
Yeah, probably right. I mean, it's just more a case of I think City just look at possession, look at getting the minimum amount of goals and then dominating possession stats. That seems to be what he cares about more.
We scored, stop scoring.
That's
Everyone
it.
Stop.
Keep that ball, and we win. So Man City, I think we both got down for pretty comfortable wins in that one, and we move on to the side, our top of the league, Thomas. Not Norwich. I'm talking about Chelsea, because it's Chelsea versus Norwich, top versus bottom.
And it's funny because I just referenced City's scoring and defensive prowess, of which Chelsea have the exact same record, despite signing a striker, and that really being the difference in who they are this season. They look absolutely fantastic. Champions League winning Chelsea top the table. They're playing fantastically. Norwich City going for the record for least points ever. Obviously, Newcastle with their new owners are chasing that as well, because any record's a record. Norwich are actual garbage, and Chelsea are really good, and the Ben Chilwell winner was a great strike.
Oh, beautiful goal. I think that Chelsea you'll almost have to kind of keep Lukaku in restraints before the start of this game, because he will be chomping at the bit to get at this Norwich City side. I think that this could be, if you're Norwich, I would actually say, if you're a Norwich defender and it got to the fringe of the weekend, I might start to look at saying I've got a bit of a tight hamstring, so you wouldn't have to play against Lukaku.
Norwich have reported 23 torn hamstrings this week in training. It will be a reserve side.
I haven't got anything to say about Norwich, but I do just want to talk about Josh Sargent, and he is a guy that we've talked about before, young American striker, come over from the Bundesliga, but he's never really done. He's hyped up more than he should be. He never seems to deliver, and he had this chance against Brighton with an open goal. It's not the easiest chance you'll ever see, but he's hit it so slowly the defenders got back and cleared it. But I would have to just question, if anybody watches it, would that ball have actually gone in? He's hit it so soft, I think that ball stops before the goal line, even without it. So, but it is interesting to see how he is going to go in the Premier League. I think Norwich is. Maybe we'll have to wait till next season when he's in the Championship to see him scoring goals. Look, how many are you going to pick for Chelsea here, Tom?
I mean, they haven't been at their scintillating best. Brentford did a really good job. I mean, they led an onslaught on that goal. It took Mendy having a fantastic game, but I don't think Norwich have been 4-0 for Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm going to go one higher. I'll go for the obligatory 5. I just think they're just going to bulldoze them.
We now lead into a segment that makes me immensely sad, because Tottenham Hotspur visit West Ham United, and they're above Man United in the table.
I know, it's weird, isn't it? It's all 2 weeks ago it was all crisis at Tottenham. Now they've had a couple of games where they've played all right, got a couple of wins, looked quite good against Newcastle actually. Harry Kane's got a goal. it's all rosy in the garden, and West Ham as well. They looked a lot better against Everton. So both these sides had really good wins at the weekend. I hope Europe's not going to spoil this game. I hope the fact they both got to play like I'm not getting political. I'm not talking about.
Where are you going with this?
I hope that the fact that both these sides have got to play Thursday, midweek European games isn't going to mean they're both pretty knackered and this falls into like a pretty boring game because they haven't got the energy. I don't know which way this one's going to go. Really, it could go either way. It should be a good one, and I thought West Ham were good. I thought Declan Rice is looking amazing. Why Man United didn't sign Declan Rice, I still will never ever know that. I think Spurs might nick this. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Tottenham win.
They do make it hard, don't they? I'm going to go 1-0. Can we just really quickly, Eric Dyer's own goal?
We can talk about Eric Dyer if you like, because Eric Dyer, I think, like, why are Tottenham still persevering with Eric Dyer as a player?
I don't see it. Like, it's one of the worst. It's like he forgets where he is on the pitch and just tries to like play dead, or like it just like crumbles.
I think he's terrible now. I really do. I don't see why they still have him as a centre back.
I don't see it. He was bad in midfield. They moved him into centre back, which seemed like a weird decision at the time. It worked out for like 2 games under Jose Mourinho, so they called it a success. And then he's been shit.
Yeah, I mean, as I say, he's a kind of a guy that's always been like all right, but never. He was okay when he was like a holding midfield player. He was okay when he was a right back, and he's getting worse every week as a centre back. I just don't. I mean, surely Tottenham have got someone better they can fit into that position. But at the moment, they're kind of getting away with it, so they're going to keep him there, aren't they?
Spurs will always persevere into Spursing it. Crystal Palace versus Newcastle United.
Well, I think this one is high on the card, Tom, mainly because of Newcastle. It was all a party atmosphere. It was Newcastle. Geordies running around with Saudi flags. It's like you've never seen anything. Saudi flags draped over the necks of people who probably don't even know where Saudi Arabia is. It all started well, but turned out a bit sour. And there was even a kind of a pretty horrible medical emergency in there, and thank God the person was all right, and well done to the people that, treated him quickly and saved their lives. But on the pitch, it's a real mess, and it's a mess that's going to be there until the January window, until they can sort it out, really, isn't it?
White hot garbage, isn't it? The Callum Wilson goal to start everything off. You're like, oh my God. Oh, they're going to do it. What a great goal. Good little dribbling. Draws it back. Great Callum Wilson goal. And then it just, week in, week out, teeters into absolutely nothing. Like we said, like if it wasn't for Eric Dyer scoring the weirdest own goal in history, this would have been a bit of a mauling. That
game was dead. And that just gave a tiny bit of life at the end to Newcastle. But it's, I mean, and let's be fair. I mean, Bruce it's only a matter of time before they get rid of him. They've made it pretty clear they're not going to keep him on. He's just kind of like just filling time at the moment until they sack him, so we can get his whatever it is. What's the word I'm looking for? Compensation.
The celebrations from the owners when they went 1-0 in front was like it made no sense to me. They celebrated like they just won the league.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's the weird thing was, right? You're watching that game through the highlight. If you watch that game live, that whole build-up for hours before the game, and then they brought all the owners out on the pitch, it was almost like a carnival atmosphere in St James Park, and it really was. And when they scored that goal, it was virtually impossible to not get carried away in the joy of it, because it seemed like it was just like going to be the start of like a fantastic performance, which petered away. I can't believe Bruce is almost the complete opposite of the manager he was for the first few seasons in Newcastle. I can't believe he's taken can't believe he's got this side so open now that they look so easy to beat. I just don't see how they're gonna really do much. If you've really just got to hope they're like there or thereabouts when the January window comes, and then they can just about survive this season. But There's been talks of Hodgson going in there this week.
I mean, we talked about this earlier, not Hodgson necessarily, but that actually might be a good call. That actually might be a sort of manager.
I mean, he's only, just to the end of the season, you would think, isn't it? Like,
oh, yeah, no, there's no way he stays longer. I don't think he'd want to stay longer either. I mean, this is the definition of a club that's going to kind of push on and move forward, and it has to move forward at, like, breakneck speed. And I don't think that's something Hodgson even wants to be involved in anymore.
Palace, I think, will beat this Newcastle side quite comfortably. Palace were really impressing me. I thought they were unlucky against Arsenal with the last-minute goal. Vieira is an invincible, Thomas, and but they look really good. I think they've got some good players. I mean, Benteke's got a new lease of life. Gallagher looks good. They've still got this ability to kind of go back into Hodgson mode when they want to, of like sit and hold and defend well. Edouard looks a good player. I think it's good. I think they have a good side. Good signs for Palace this season.
I'll let you give your score first, Ian.
3-0 Palace.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to go 2-1. Do not see it being as clean cut as that. But while everyone is trying to deal with what a hot take that is, I just really want to quickly say that we are on Patreon. If you guys enjoy this channel, please go check us out on Patreon. Thank you to PJ Simpson, Matthew Bowden, Robert Allen, Christina Allen, and everyone else that supports us on there. Your support means the world. It's what lets us go to games, so thank you for that. But no matter what, please like our videos, subscribe, comment down below, and if you want some quality football tips, head over to Grandstand Betters. We do collab videos with them. Ian was on a live stream last week.
Well, I was in the chat. I wasn't on screen with them, but it does a good job. Matt does a great job. The YouTube channel's far surpassing us in terms of subscribers now, and it's mainly because if you like sports and you like gambling on sports, that's the place to go for your tips.
He knows his stuff. So anyway, subscribe on Patreon, check out Grandstand Betters. Not further ado, we're Gilding the Lily. Finally something to put Thomas in a good mood. Arsenal versus Aston Villa.
Well, you've had your angry rant about Man United, so I feel you've got to balance that out now, Thomas. So go for it. Go for it, Stephanie.
Actually love this team. They make me so happy. Every time Man United fail, it's like they have to do the same. They were down 2-1. Oh, it's going to be written. What a great 2-2 we Crystal Palace. Oh, we're undefeated in 5 games. Are you actually serious? This club is an actual joke. They can't play more than 15 minutes of good football in a game. The Arteta DNA is to make this team unpressable, and the way you score against them is to press. It is like flabbergasted. It's mind-blowing that this is still some argument being made about some fantastic form of football being built at Arsenal. They're garbage. He's not good enough to do the job. Your plan is faulty. I don't get it, but I love it because it means every week I'm happy again, because no matter what Man United do, Arsenal are like, yeah, but we can do it worse. And they have been for a decade.
Villa had a funky result, didn't they, against Wolves?
I mean, that game was so weird. Was there 2 or 3 deflected goals in that match?
Oh, the final goal was definitely deflected in quite heavily. I think there was 2 for Wolves, but a monumental meltdown from a seemingly comfortable 2-0 win to lose 3-2 to Wolves.
McGinn's goal was deflected as well. His distance. There were 3 deflected goals in that game. And it was so weird because they went 2-0 up, and then they came back with this deflection, and you were like, oh, shit. Well, they'll no, they will not see this out. And then that final free kick, I mean, it goes right in the bottom corner. There's nothing the goalkeeper's going to do. No,
it's completely wrong-footed.
All the way over there in the space of 10 feet. But, like, it was such an odd game.
Yeah, it was an odd game. It's just that thing what pressure does, isn't it? It's Aston Villa completely comfortable. Wolves get 1 goal. The momentum completely swings, and Villa go into panic mode. And usually they would see that game out, but it was just one of those things. And because it was a derby game as well, it makes it even worse. But guts, resilience, resolve, these are the things I see from this Arsenal side. Arteta doing a bang-up job. 5 games unbeaten. They're climbing up the table, Thomas. This is a side that's on the move, and it was only a couple of careless little mistakes, which haven't happened in recent weeks, that got Palace couple of goals, but Arsenal roared back to get a very creditable point. And I can only see one winner in this one, and that is the Arsenal carrying on the good form. When was how many games in a row are Man United unbeaten? Yeah, exactly. So shut up. Arsenal 3, Aston Villa 1.
Absolutely no chance. 2-0 to the Villains.
Brentford versus Leicester. These are going to go a bit quicker than now.
Brentford are absolutely fantastic this season. Genuinely, they pushed Chelsea all the way. They probably should have had a goal if it wasn't from Mendy in the post, basically being against them for the whole game. They're such a breath of fresh air. They remind me a little bit of Bournemouth when Bournemouth first came into the league. Like, they just attack, they just play their style of football, and come hell or high water, they seem to represent themselves quite well. Leicester City beat someone this week, scored 4 goals. I think Chieleman's got a good one in it. But
talk about classic performances. Leicester City beating Manchester United by 4 goals to 2. The return of Johnny Evans, Manchester United old boy, showing Man United how to do it. He completely changed that Leicester side. Also, the break did Leicester a lot of good. They were back to their best in terms of pressing and putting Man United under pressure, which is something that's been a bit lacking. But Evans just seemed to shore up that defence, and Soyuncu looked a lot better with Evans there. And I think that so long as he stays fit, Leicester should be a bit more like their old self. I think this one should be a good one, but I think Leicester are going to get back-to-back wins here. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Foxes win.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 to Leicester. I don't know why. They looked really good. And I really like the Jamie Vardy goal. Just his ability to kind of like completely redirect that ball with power into the side netting was fantastic. Everton versus Watford.
I think it's going to be one of those seasons for Everton, isn't it? Where it's going to be, they're going to look for their 7th or 8th place trophy, and because it's just one good performance, one bad performance, and
the Iwobi miss.
Yeah,
did you see the?
Well, that's Iwobi. That is Alex Iwobi's career in a nutshell. Just
right between his legs and he's trying to volley it. Like, it's not even like he's hitting it with his wrong foot. He's hitting it with his right foot, approaching the ball, and the ball somehow goes through his legs.
Yeah, well, like him and Traore, and this is an unfair comparison, but they're 2 players that just remind me of look really good.
Yeah, I know how unfair that is. It's pretty fair.
Let me finish. Just look really good in everything they do until it comes to the end product, and then it's just never there. And Iwobi's always been like that. He's always looked a very competent, tidy player, but he just can't score goals or create much. But I would think Everton should be able to beat this Watford side, who already need to show a hell of a lot more, because it looked like they were already thrown in the towel, even in Ranieri's first game.
We went over saying we didn't think Ranieri was the right choice for this. It's going to be a wonderful payday for him, though. He'll do 8 games, he'll get sacked, and he'll get paid 3 years' wages for doing 8 games. I mean, we'd all take the job. Everton are definitely too good for this Watford side. This Watford side are probably going to go down at the end of the day. I'm going to go 2-0 to Everton.
Yeah, I think that sounds a good shout to me. I'm going to go 2-0 Everton as well. Watford just, I mean,
A lot of nothing.
they'll have to go smash and grab, but I don't think they're good enough to do that.
No. Leeds United versus Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh, I'll leave you to talk about Leeds, because they're again a one step forward, 2 steps back at the moment, and it's not looking great. Wolves, a fantastic turnaround win over Villa, and I think Wolves have been pretty good this season without getting the joy, and now they're finally starting to get some good results, and I think that's only fair because it's still a lot of the good players that were there from under Nuno, and they're still pretty much the same side, so I wouldn't expect them to be anything more than just a pretty decent Premier League side. It's going to be good some weeks and bad some other weeks, and it's great to see Jimenez back up there. Hwang looks really good, Traore looks really good, and they've just got all those other little players really that have been good for years, like Moutinho, like Neto, like Neves, and this is a tough one for Leeds. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced Leeds are going to win this one at all, and I think Wolves will end up getting a draw. I'm going to go for an entertaining 2 each.
Yeah, this is a really weird match. So Leeds lost to Southampton the week. I think they managed like 2 or 3 shots in the whole match. there's just something missing in their play. There isn't the drive you've seen. There isn't the hard work. And there's a real openness now, and not like the openness we saw last season, all over the pitch, everyone is out of position and no one looks quite sure where they should be. And I've heard rumors that Bielsa's walking around Weatherby and just muttering to himself on a daily basis. So he's getting angry about the situation. There's rumors coming out about this. I don't know why, though. I think Leeds are going to win this, and it has more to do with the fact that Wolves were so lucky in that last game that
They were.
I don't know why. I just see luck coming back to bite him in the ass in this, and I'm going to go with a 2. Let's go with a 3-2 Leeds victory.
Yeah, Ellen Road's a factor, isn't it? Ellen Road can be a difference maker in this one, but it could also turn into a pretty poisonous atmosphere if things don't go well for this Leeds side. But the final game, Thomas, the side that vanquished Leeds, Southampton versus Burnley.
0-0.
I'm going to go for a 1-0 Saints win and back-to-back wins for Southampton. Burnley looked so poor this season. I really think this could be a season where it could be them in the relegation zone at the end of it. I really don't see how Dyche turns this one around, and Saints just look. They don't look cutting edge, but they just look good enough.
And before I bring this to a close, we both know Norwich are going down. We're both in agreement. Currently, Newcastle and Burnley sit on 3 points, Leeds on 6, Watford on 7, Southampton on 7, Palace on 8. Who's going down with Norwich this year?
At the moment, you would have to think Burnley. I would have thought Newcastle, but that money situation is probably just going to keep them up. And so, I mean, the other side I look at, Watford for sure.
You heard it here first, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for following. If you haven't clicked subscribe, please go over, click subscribe, click like or dislike, but we prefer like. Let us know down below in your comments what you think of this and what you think the scores will be for these games. We will be back with you tomorrow, bringing you the League One predictions.